Another minute. So I'd like for us to start out by just sitting quietly for a little while. So what is happening when you're just sitting quietly? So I'd like for us to start out this evening. We're just sitting, and I'd like you to just be free. We all know what free, right? Freedom or free, what it is to be free, right? So can you just be free? In your own way, the way you take it to be, just be free. Most of us are probably not used to this. I'd like you to try it and be free, see what that's like. So can you just experience being free? You're usually free from something. But just see if you can experience just being free. Probably not so clear, maybe not so easy, because we're not used to it. Probably this is not easy for most of us. So don't feel that you're, you know, the only one.
Brendan,
Yeah.
your microphone is coming through a little muted. It's hard to hear you, so I don't know which microphone you're using, but sit a little closer.
Hello? Can you hear
Or
me now?
speak a little louder. Yeah, it'll
Okay.
come through better that way. Thank you.
I have the Jabra on. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know. So it's probably not so easy doing this practice. Now I'm going to ask you, what did you experience? Do you understand? Were you able to understand what I was trying to get you to do? Don't think of it in a specific terms. I just wanted to know how it worked for you when you just try to be free. Maybe he said, free, what does that mean? I mean, you know the word free, but have you ever really just sat and just try to be free? To you, what does it mean? What does free mean to you? Come on, you guys, tell me. Don't be shy.
Unencumbered.
So what does that feel like? Hmm?
I imagine it feels pretty great.
Wow. Unencumbered. So why can't we just access it whenever we want? Yeah, Al,
I had a sense of kind of letting go.
can't hear you.
I had a sense of letting go.
Something's happening. Why the sound's not coming on?
How is that now? Is
You're
that
not, it's not that you're muted, Al, it's that the volume is very low.
I haven't changed anything.
Yeah, good. I can hear you now.
So when you said free, I just had the sense of kind of letting go
Right,
of the things about that were binding me, that I was grabbing onto,
right,
holding
right,
on, freeing myself of the letting go of these, just
right,
letting go.
right. So anybody here also start to feel that when I said free? Can you start to feel free? So what's the difference between just sitting quietly and when we try to be free? When we try to access the freedom that's already there. See, the mind is already free. Actually, who we really are is free. What makes us unfree is because we occupy ourselves. We bind ourselves, we get stuck in something that automatically prevents us from being free. Yeah, James, what were you going to say? Your volume or whatever, I can't hear you. No, you're
Yeah, we
muted.
can't,
We do have sound issues. How can you hear me? Okay.
No, I can't hear you. Oh, man.
This is, hmm.
Is that any better?
There
yes,
you
Yeah, right.
go.
What happened?
Okay, sorry, I had the wrong input chosen. So what I was saying is that it's an undoing, not a doing.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's how we can start to be free. How many of us know that? How many of us really know how to start to be free? We know how to be free from something, but how many of us know how to just be free? I mean, it's such a simple way to be free. So if we're not free, what makes us not free? Anybody? Yeah, this seems so obvious and so simple.
Clinging,
What makes us not free?
clinging.
Good. Exactly. Focusing. Being stuck in something. That's what clinging does. So that's what makes us not free. So if we want to be free, how do we not cling? How can we start to be free? If clinging, if clinging makes us not free, how can we start to be free? Not clinging, right? That's simple. All right, now, how do we not cling? So how do we not cling? Yeah, James.
By just allowing it to stop.
Okay. But that's not so easy for most people. You know, in fact, they don't even know what that means. Just allow it. Probably the most accessible way for most people is probably stop focusing on what you're clinging. We've only been doing this for 100 years, you know, non-focusing over and over. So when we don't focus, we're automatically free from what we're focusing on. We're automatically free from what we're stuck in, what we're limited by. Can you see that? Yeah, Julie, you,
I say half the time we don't even know we're clinging.
exactly.
That's the first thing is to notice that
Yeah,
everything's all tied up in a ball.
we're so used to it, we're not conscious of it. It's just such a habit. It's a basic habit of ours. That's why it's not so easy. First, you have to notice you're clinging. First, you have to notice that you're distracted in order to start to be not distracted. So what does it feel when we're not clinging on anything? How many of us are really clear to seeing, feeling, and experiencing, but not clinging, not focusing? Yes. All right.
I was just confirming that I am very much aware of the fact that it is the clinging, it is the focusing, it is the sort of narrowing down into the habitual sort of attachments
Yeah.
to things that keep me bound.
Yeah.
So I already have that recognition.
Right. So other people have to get the recognition. That's how we start to free ourselves. First, we got to know, to notice that we're not free. Because we're focusing, we're clinging, which limits us. So what happens when we start to not focus? We automatically let go of what we're holding on. I mean, this is such a simple practice. Talking about it, is really different than actually trying to do the practice and experience that. So why don't we spend a little time, those of you who are not familiar, try to be without clinging. Try to be without focusing. You can either do it through sight, feeling, or experiencing. Whichever way you want to do it. Here, for example, just start to see without focusing or clinging on what we see. Don't get locked into just what we're seeing. We're seeing when we don't focus. Our awareness, our sight automatically becomes wider. It's not bound by that particular object that we see. We can see that object and we can see all the other objects when we don't focus and when we don't cling. When we cling, we just see that object and we don't see all the others. So this is how most of us see. And we're not really clear and conscious of it. We're just so narrow. This is how we can start to free ourselves. From what we're stuck in. And if we're clinging, focusing, that makes us not free. So when we're focusing, when we're clinging, we are just the object. We're stuck with the object. So when we don't cling and focus, we're just being without doing anything. So just try to get the experience of this. Okay? Really try to clarify this through your own experience.
Hey, Brendan, I'm going to remote into your computer and see if I can check a couple of settings. You can just keep talking.
Okay.
You're muted, Brendan. Okay.
And please hit accept if you can see the window.
So I want you to do this practice. Do it for a while, then stop. See what the difference is. Okay? Clarify the difference through your own experience. Doesn't do much good to clarify the difference between intellectually, conceptually. Okay? That's why this is called the practice lineage, experiential lineage, do it lineage, not thinking about lineage. I mean, this is the basic, but it's important. So basically, this is what makes us not free. Of course, we have our karma, karmic dispositions. We have our habits and conditioning. Okay? So most of us act and see out of habit and conditioning. So if we don't do anything to change that, then it'll keep on being that, like that. Where it has been for, I don't know how many lifetimes, how many thousands of years. Stop clinging. Stop focusing. There are other methods, but this is the basic, most accessible, rudimentary way to start to not cling. Simply by not focusing. So I want to get more specific on this practice. So I'd like for you to pick an object, okay? Pick an object and
Brendan, if you could just really lean close to your computer, we're still having some problems. We'll fix them before tomorrow, but just get close.
can you hear me
Close.
better?
Close.
Uh-huh. Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, try that.
Okay. So I want you to take this practice more specific. Pick an object, okay, in front of you. I want you to look at that object as you usually see that object, okay? As you normally see that object. Do that first. Then what I'd like for you to do is stop focusing on that object. Make an effort to not focus on that object as you usually do. So you can go back and forth. See if you can clarify the difference. Is there any difference, or is it the same? So if you had enough time and you've clarified through your own experience the difference, so tell me, I want to hear about it. So no one has experienced the difference, huh?
Brendan, this is Rebecca.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's a funny thing. I thought it's like stopping being a helicopter parent to that object. It's it really seems like it gives it the you free the object to experience it in a freer way.
Right.
And I could really feel letting go. Oh, I was really clinging, hovering
Yeah,
visually on that object, and it
right.
freed the object and it freed me, was sort of what it felt like to me.
Wow. I mean, we free ourselves. Don't you feel the freedom, Rebecca? When you let that go, don't you feel free? I mean, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, physically, like my body automatically relaxes
Exactly.
by that.
I mean, you can't buy that feeling on Amazon.
No.
Or Netflix or whatever whatever you guys do, Yeah, Jody.
Well, to use your words, Brendan, when I'm not looking at the object and not focused on it, I'm letting it be as it is.
Right.
there's no labeling, and that's the sense of freedom of me trying to control what it is, that
Right.
I'm able to try and let go of that.
Yeah. So this is like the precursor to the roundup, what we're gonna do this weekend. You see? Yeah. Roundup is more subtle. Here we can really, I mean, you know, immediately feel the difference. You don't have to be a seasoned meditator. Yeah, Judy.
Yeah, when I focus on the object, my mind kicks in and I have a task. And so I begin to analyze it. When I non-focus, I recognize what the object is, a pen here, but I don't spend any energy to attach to it. I don't tell a story about it. I don't like it or dislike it.
Why
And
exactly?
I
Then
don't
you're working
compare it.
against yourself. See, if
Yeah.
you
And
try
I
to
don't
define it, you're starting to focus on it.
right.
We
And
just
I don't compare it to anything else. It's just there. I'm there.
you just leave it as it is, what we've been doing.
Yep.
So what about some of the newer people? What do you experience? Nothing or what? So am I supposed to read your mind? So let me get my glasses. You must experience something. This is what I want to know. You know, this is an interactive teaching. Yeah, Julie.
If I've got Zoom and gallery view, and so I see your face as well as all the other Hollywood squares. And I'm normally pretty keyed on what you're doing, but I have to unfocus, and well, not unfocus, but see more broadly and take in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And there's, because it's actually not you, it's pixels on a screen. I'm imputing you to this little tiny picture.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we do with everything, is that we make it into this
No,
this thing.
you're complicating it. We're not interested in that. We're just simply right now interested in non-focusing. We're not defining the difference between that you experience when you focus and when you don't focus. Even though that's a good explanation, you know. But we're not interested in that right now. Just simply interested in the way you experience the difference. I mean, this can be huge if you practice, if you go deeper into it. Of course, if you don't do anything, then it just doesn't make any difference. But here is a way, here is a doorway. How you can start to really free yourselves. So normally, For most of us, we're enslaved by what we see, what we feel, what we experience. Because automatically, out of habit and conditioning, we're focusing on what we're perceiving, feeling, and experiencing. So when we start to apply this practice of non-focusing, that's how we start to free ourselves from what we're seeing, feeling, and experiencing. Does that make sense? Is that complicated?
Brendan, can you hear us here at the center?
Well,
Can you hear me at the center?
yeah,
Oh, I apologize. I just have a question here from a new participant here at PMC, Brendan.
sure, of course.
It was actually more of a comment,
Yeah, whatever.
focus and non-focus. I noticed as I focused on the object, it was sort of just became the central focal point of, I guess, just my experience here with the meditation. And then as I stopped focusing, the pillow in front of me, which was my object of meditation, it just sort of was an experience of it just being there with nothing else to it,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sorry, kind of difficult to explain.
well, you don't need to explain. You explained it, you just explained it. It's that pillar is just, it is. It's not something that is different, not that different, definite, or solid as you usually see that object as. You understand what I'm saying?
I believe so.
That's the problem. When we focus, what we're seeing becomes so solid, so separate from the seer or the awareness. So when we stop the focusing, it starts to dissolve the difference or the duality between the seer and the seen awareness and the objective awareness. That's what happens when we focus, we create the duality, the separateness. Is that clear? The person that I was talking to?
Yes, it is clear to, well, can you hear me all right?
What?
I was,
Yeah, I hear you.
I was saying, yes, it was clear.
Okay, you understood what I said, what I was saying.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, good. So at least I've communicated with one new person. Like, how many more do I have to go? See, this is so simple. Believe me, it's so simple because I've spent years doing this. That's how I can simplify it. In the beginning, when I started this practice, it was not so simple and clear. Even though it may be clear, obvious, but we have to do the practice to go deeper and to really be able to benefit what the practice has to offer. So I want us to keep on doing this practice. I know some of you want higher practices, more complicated practice, but it doesn't do any good. The meat is right here. And you can apply this in many ways. For example, how many of you here at times you can't stop thinking? Anybody here have that problem?
Yes.
So what can we do? We can't just say, well, I'm going to stop thinking. That doesn't work, right? We need some method to simply stop focusing on the thinking. See, when we think, we're focusing on the thinking, and it fuels the thinking. It becomes stronger, more automatic. But when we start to not focus on what we're thinking, automatically we start to not get stuck in thinking or thought. And you can do this with a person. So notice the difference between, let's say, a person that you can't really stand in front of you, and you keep looking at that person, and you're automatically focusing on that person. It affects you emotionally and more as you see that person. But because you're focusing on that, you're unconsciously focusing on that person, that's why. But if you stop focusing on that person, you will see, you feel the difference. The reaction that you have towards that person. So why don't we try that? Bring a person into your field of awareness that you can't stand, and automatically the emotion kicks in and you start to have the reaction to this person that you're aware of. If you don't do anything, it just gets stronger. So immediately what we can start to do is stop focusing on that person. See the difference. So take a moment and do that. See if you can see the difference. So can you see the difference when you focus on that person and when you don't focus on that person? Or is it the same? Yeah, how much energy we waste on our afflicted emotions. And, you know, we get so affected, we work ourselves up. And when we can just simply not focus, and it just disappears. You don't have to worry about it. You're free from it. There's no pill that does that. Let me ask you, tell me a person who don't see the difference. I'm assuming, you know, everybody feels the difference, experiences the difference. So I want to hear from someone who doesn't see any difference whatsoever.
Hi, Brennan.
Hmm.
Oh, we have Sam here at the center. He wants to share again.
Yes.
So, as I was focusing on that said person, my mind sort of fell into a bit of a state of agitation and
Exactly.
frustration, but I suppose I would describe the way of keeping them in my mind and breaking the focus. It sort of drew out it sort of dissipated that sense of agitation and made it a bit easier to kind of just feel a sense of relaxation and I guess a bit of a sense of compassion towards said person.
But that's what we want, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for. So can you hear me better now,
Yes, sir.
Julie? Yeah, the speaker was a little bit down. I don't know why it's not hooked up to the Jabra. Anyway. So, you know, I can go on and explain different practices. And that'll keep you occupied and entertained. And you don't have to be interactive. But here, you're required to participate, you know. So my interest is you getting some experience, not going home with a bunch of understanding and that understanding just kind of dissipates. But it's different when you get an experience. Then you can have something to take home to work with, right? That stays with you, that you can make use of. That's my interest. Anyway, I'm so simple-minded, I'm incapable of complicating things more. So how I came up on this practice of non-focusing. So in the beginning, you see everybody is suffering, how they're so affected by their afflictions and their emotions. So how can we find something that can start to lessen the affliction, the intensity of emotion? And accidentally, I fell on the non-focusing. But prior to non-focusing, the practice of non-focusing, I did the meditation on seeing without seeing anything, feeling without feeling anything, and experiencing without experiencing anything. And that helps, but it's not as specific and definite as the practice of non-focusing. Well, I don't have, much more to say. Other than we can just keep on practicing. So, people here, have you heard um, letting go, simply letting go, can be a big part of your practice? And how much do we suffer at times by not being able to let go? Holding on to something. So how many of you have heard that? So letting go can be freeing because what are we letting go when we let go? Something that we're holding on consciously and unconsciously. See, we're holding on to all these ideas and preconceptions, how it should be. And if it doesn't coincide with that, it affects us. What's that noise?
Libby's trying to speak, but I'm not hearing her.
Libby? Can you hear me? Maybe she's on the iPhone or what? Okay.
I think PMC may still be unmuted as well.
So the problem is we're holding on. Holding on is focusing. How many of us are really clear, consciously clear, all the things that we're holding on to? All our preconceptions. What we think are right and wrong. What we think are real and unreal. Those are all preconceptions that we're holding on. All those are the things that make us not free, that makes us constricted, limited. So that's what we have to let go. How can we start to let go? One of the ways is just stop focusing. If you don't focus, you can't hold on. You can't hold on to the object if you don't focus. You can't focus, if you can't hold on to the idea if you don't focus. It's the focusing that continues the idea, the preconception. And we may have some fear that you may be letting go of that something that you shouldn't. You know? There is absolutely nothing that you need to hold on to. Can you believe that? Even your most cherished beliefs, your most cherished beliefs, your truth, they don't need to be held on to. Yes, your ego needs to hold on to that. But your true nature does not. Anyway, unless you can totally let go of everything, you will never realize your true nature. That's a big statement. But most of us are not ready or capable. So we let go gradually. But of course, if you let go too suddenly, you might go crazy. That's a possibility. But we need to let go. We need to let go to start to be who we really are. Who we really are is our true nature, which is totally perfect and complete. Everything that we ever could wish for is contained within that. All right, does anybody have any questions or comment? Yes. Lee?
Um, I, what I heard you said, what the parts that I heard of your talk tonight were very powerful. However, one thing that I couldn't let go of was my frustration of only hearing about a third to a half of what you said. Now, how do I let go of that?
Yeah, by getting the recording and listening to the thing.
Yeah.
Get the recording and listen to and listen to the whole thing so you can let go of that. Okay? That's all you have to do. Ask, we'll figure it out for you to get the recording so you can listen to, all of it. I have the same problem with the hearing, so I sympathize with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah. Yeah, Janet?
Hello, Brendan. Thank you.
Yeah.
How I've said this maybe before, how I have conceptualized my path for all these years has been bringing awareness into action. And wow, is that hard to do? And one of the things that occurred to me when you're, sometimes it's harder than others, but what really occurred to me is my own situation right now in terms of like, we only have one of our furnaces working. There's two in the house and one of them isn't working. I have all these maintenance things, all these health questions, all these business things that to put into order and everything else. So when we're faced with that,
yeah.
It seems like when I look at the picture of one of your teachers behind you, I think somebody was taking good care of him, and I kind of get, the letting go is like, oh, okay. So sometimes I can do that. Today I did it in the treatment center, but yeah, but and then I feel like since I was a tiny child that I've been fortunate to have quite a bit of awareness. And my path, I think I've always thought of as kind of like a awareness path of that. And it was hard for me to think of someone I really didn't like at all. So, I mean, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Half the time when I talk here, I don't know what I'm saying, which is not good. So I'll be quiet now.
That's okay. That's all right, Janet. I'm used to that, so it's okay.
You get old enough, I guess people forgive you for that.
That's right. But anyway, I appreciate you attending the teachings. That's the important thing. You're getting something. And it's important for us to notice in the teachings, we're getting lot more than what we think we're getting. So don't limit yourself to what you think you're getting. Be open. Try to notice. Don't get stuck on the thinking. That's one of the things that I clarified and I learned from over the years taking teachings. You're getting a lot more than what you think you're getting. And it takes years sometimes to find out that you got something more from this teaching that you had years ago. Don't just listen with your thinking mind. Be open with an intuitive mind. Of course, the thinking mind will listen and make sense of what's happening. But there's the other mind that's much larger and more subtle than the thinking mind that is picking up what's going on subconsciously. That's what I have learned from my teachings from the past. I mean, taking teachings. Yeah, James.
Well, I just wanted to confirm exactly what you were saying in that in the short time that I've been practicing with you, whether it being on focusing or the new Rangbap, is the snowball effect that just doing the practice seems to have. It's a seed that blossoms, wherein what I encountered initially as at that point, what was a profound, seemingly bottomless letting go is nothing compared to what I experience now. What I experience now, the previous me wouldn't even believe was possible. So thank you for that. It's the hidden gem.
But you see, you don't know that beforehand. One of the things, I mean, I made the same mistake when I was beginning. If I couldn't clarify in your own mind how I could realize this particular practice, then I wouldn't do it. And there's no way you can know beforehand the totality of the different practices. But we intuitively have to choose, But you can't just go simply on the basis of trying to pre-conceptualize whether this practice is going to work or not.
Yeah, and this is where the trust has come in for me, because with a little bit of evidence.
Exactly.
With a little bit of evidence.
We need some feedback. We need to get a taste. We need some evidence,
Yep.
It's not totally nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. All right. I have nothing more to say. I've already said too much anyway. Way too much. So I thank you all. And have a nice evening.
Thank you, Yogi Brendan.
And Brendan, can you stay on just a minute and I'll act,
Yeah, of course.
and I'll see if there's a quick fix I can do to play with the sound. And
Thank you, everyone. I look
Thank you,
forward to
everyone.
seeing those of you who are going to be there this weekend.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you.
Thank you,
not too
Precious.
late to sign up for the weekend if you have not yet done so. If you have any questions, let me know or let Tracy know. And Brendan, you should have a place to accept now. I heard the tone, so
What do you mean?
accept that sharing your screen.
What do you mean?
Hold on. Hold on. Doing a couple other things. You know how when I ask you to share your screen, there's a window that comes up and says accept?
No, I don't see that.
Okay, I'm going to try it again. It's because I hear the tone. It's interesting because it says,
No, I don't see it.
you shouldn't have it now. Wait, did you hear that sound?
Would you like to view your screen? Yes.
Yes, say yes.
Options. Accept.
Yes, accept.
All right. Okay. So, are you on?
I am on. I might just have to quit the recording. Because it's still recording. Yikes. Oh. Let me do one thing. Sorry.